Sunday has arrived at the 2023 TruBank Des Moines Challenge presented by Discraft. You're watching Tournament Central on the Disc Golf Network. An early morning start today as the FPO division had to finish round number 2, which was suspended yesterday due to severe weather conditions across the region. The final round is now underway. Round number 2 started this morning at approximately 6:30 a.m. with lead cards still with about 9 holes to go. They have finished. There was no cut, and the final round is underway with lead cards scheduled to tee off within about the next 30 minutes. For the MPO division, the tournament has been officially shortened to 2 rounds. Just a handful of cards were on course yesterday when the suspension occurred. They will resume play from their previous lie with approximately 100 players yet to tee off in what will be their second and final round here at Pickard Park. And by the way, live MPO coverage will begin now at 4 o'clock Central on the Disc Golf Network. But first things first, let's talk about what happened yesterday and into today. Brian Earhart, a man who always eats his vegetables, is standing by with Disc Golf Pro Tour's Director of Health, Safety, and Sports Performance, Seth Muncy, to break it all down. Brian, to you and Seth.
Seth, I have to ask you, you have to make some very tough decisions week in and week out with the weather, and now that the sport's grown so much, a lot of responsibility has fallen on your shoulders. Can you talk about the situation this weekend and what all went into making the decisions that you made?
Yeah, Brian, it is tough. The last thing we want to do is stop anyone from playing, stop the spectators from watching. Everyone puts so much work into this on all sides. And so it's tough, but we got to put player safety, spectator safety, staff and volunteer safety. We want to make sure everyone goes home at the end of the night so that we can continue to do all the things that we love to do. So yesterday, we have a policy that we've created on severe weather, on inclement weather, and that includes lightning, that includes tornadoes. And unfortunately, yesterday was a time here in the Midwest where we had to implement that policy. So, when it comes to making this kind of policy, we have to think about a lot of different variables. We have to think about how far, are we from safety? Is there shelter on site? How many people are on site? Are people taking shuttle buses? There's so many things that go into our lightning radius, because that's something I hear a lot of people say, well, why do you blow the horn when there's blue skies above, right? Why do we have such a large radius? Because there's so many variables that we have to think about. Someone's 30 minutes away from their car, and a storm's moving 50 miles an hour, we have to blow the horn. So yesterday was that case. There was a cold front moving in. We knew that there was a potential for some hail and thunder and lightning and even possible tornadoes. And so we were monitoring the weather the entire time. I have a staff meteorologist that I consult with all the time. He's doesn't live too far away in Nebraska, so he happened to be here yesterday with me. So Austin was a great resource, and so we talk each week. And I use a Weather Century app that's used by the PGA, Major League Baseball, NFL. And so that is what we were looking at. So we saw some cells pop up, and they went within our range where we felt, we needed to make sure that people would not be running off the course. We don't want anyone running for shelter. So we had to blow the horn a few times. And that third time, it was a 1 or 2 little pop-up little cells that, that happen out here in the Midwest. And it turned into a very big storm system that just, produced hail and lightning and went across the state. So that was what happened yesterday, prior to the round suspension.
Well, thank you so much, Seth, for all that context. Again, it's easier said than done putting an event like this on, especially in Iowa at this time of year when it seems like the weather just keeps hitting us. This is, I think, the 3rd year in a row we've had to make a tough decision. So thank you for all the work that you put in. And Grant, we're going to send it back to you in the booth.
FPO players pulled off the course early in the afternoon yesterday not to return. So they did return this morning just after sunrise. Kristin Tattar woke up ready to go. We'll catch you up on the action from the continuation of FPO round 2 after this break on the Disc Golf Network.
One thing we all love about disc golf is it's a lifetime sport. Whether you play pro, am, juniors, or senior grandmasters, we all want to play this sport as much as we want and for as long as we want. This can introduce wear over time, potentially hindering your ability to continue playing. A cart reduces the cumulative stress on your body that comes with repetitive motions such as reaching down and lifting. This will help keep you on the course, maximizing your athletic potential and playing your best.
The sun rose this morning at approximately 5:45 a.m. for Sunday at the 2023 Des Moines Challenge. And in case you were sleeping, not to worry, we are here to catch you up to speed as the second round of FPO action completed this morning with Kristin Tattar wasting no time. Brian Earhart and Grant Zellner. Brian, we know that after a long layoff, it's not uncommon to see some players come out hot and some players come out looking to find the game that they may have left in their hotel room or their tent that morning. This morning, Kristin Tattar was part of the former group coming out hot with 3 birdies in a row. You were there to see it.
She just played solid. I mean, she acted like the conditions were no different. She came out with 3 birdies in a row to start the day. She just looked solid out there. She was making great decisions like she always was. The putter was working for the most part. Obviously, the wind picked up 10, 20 miles an hour. And in some of the parts of the course, it was making for some really challenging approaches and putts. So with the conditions that she did have, she did exactly what she needed to do. I think she missed kind of a short headwind putt on 18. But really, other than that, she looked really solid out there. It is going to be tough to catch her today, especially with how tough this wind is playing out here.
Kristin Tattar, if you recall, played the first half of round number 2 with just a single birdie and a string of pars. Ends up finishing the round very, very well, aside from that bogey at the last, which actually got several players. Missy Gannon playing her way into contention, moving up the leaderboard. And here she was just about an hour and a half ago as she finished up her round.
Okay, I'm joined here by Missy Gannon after the continuation and finalization of round 2 here at the Des Moines Challenge. Missy, we were walking over here to the booth from the 18th green and you said, it's a good thing I'm a morning person. Can you elaborate on that? What did you just go through this morning?
Yeah, typically I'm one of those people who practices at about 7:30 every morning. So while this was an hour earlier, I did have to wake up a little earlier, but it's not something that is anything really new for me. So I felt like I had a little bit of an advantage, at least mentally. I'm wide awake. I just feel like it's a normal practice round. So, it's weird circumstances, and I'm glad that I woke up the way that I did, feeling pretty light and chill about what was about to happen.
Yeah. So it looks like you'll potentially and most likely be on the lead card for that final round. How are you feeling about that?
Great. I mean, the conditions are going to be wild. We have like 20 mile an hour winds, gusts up to 45 is what I saw. So I think it's just going to be a matter of playing smart and just, really understanding my angles and trying to get the birdies when I can, but don't force anything.
Got it. Well, there she is, Missy Gannon after round 2. Missy, best of luck in this final round.
Thank you.
After a big blemish on the card with that double bogey at the 12th, Missy with 2 birdies coming down a stretch, and then the par at the very challenging 18th, playing her way into solo second place. Brian, Missy not the farthest thrower amongst the leaders, but a good placement player, and she already is expecting to deal with the win today, Brian.
Well, here's what I have to say. I've said this throughout the season for Missy specifically. She's got the distance now. She's gaining it year after year. She worked really hard in it this offseason. She got the birdie on 4, the big downhill par 3. So we have to give her some props there. And I like her play style out here in this wind. A lot of the holes have really challenging crosswinds that they're going to have to deal with. So a lot of those more hyzer flip oriented players are going to have a tougher time. Whereas Missy likes that flat kind of mini flex line. All she's going to have to do is just stable up a tiny bit on that same thrasher mold that she loves throwing, and she's going to be just fine. I think that's why she had the success out here. And if the putter's working, and that spin putt usually does for her, I think she could put another hot round down this round.
Brian, we hate to talk in terms of negatives, but sometimes it's our job. Paige Pierce came out this morning and went in the opposite direction with a double bogey at her first hole of the day. She followed that up with 4 more bogeys across the course of her back 9. She fell to a tie for third, which in this case drops Paige to the chase card. What do you expect to see from Paige in terms of recovering from a rough start?
Well, she told me last night that she's excited to play. She's excited to play 27 holes of disc golf, and sometimes you go out to a tournament round excited to play, and you don't shoot well. But I've talked to Paige quite a bit this week because she has had a lot to say, and she said that this is not going to affect her whatsoever. I know this for a fact. She's going to come in ready to go. She's the underdog now. She has to catch up to Kristin Tattar, and I don't know. I think double digits is still out there if you can get the distance driver going, and I know that's what she struggled with this morning.
Certainly can play like she has nothing to lose. You see the leaderboard right there. Stacy Ronsley, want to give her credit for a very hot second round. Stacy playing her way onto the lead card. And Macy Valadiaz holding serve. She'll play from the lead group as well. Even earlier this morning, we crowned another FPO champion on the other side of the globe. The Krokhol Open highlights coming your way after this on the Disc Golf Network.
One of my favorite partnerships with Discraft is the Paul Macbeth molds. The Athena specifically has just been a really fun one because it's a disc that I've been looking forward to. It's definitely a staple in my bag. It sits right between my Undertakers and my Onyx. A little bit blunt nose so it can fight and handle the wind, it can handle some torque, and it's just one that I can throw at all powers. That's what I really like about it. I'm just glad that we're able to make this disc, have it in hand, and have it as a stock disc that anyone can get.
What makes the Halal Guys so deliciously different? You might have heard of our famously long cart lines that NYC fans happily stand in. Today, with over 100 plus restaurants across the globe, we are your place to experience authentic American halal. Enjoy our delicious falafel, Euro sandwich, platters, and sides topped with our famously flavorful white and hot sauces. Order online today and taste how we make different so delicious. The Halal Guys, bringing something deliciously different to the table.
From the Krokhol Open earlier this morning in Norway, familiar face Rachel Turton shooting the hot round. Here's her drive on 11. She finished out the weekend at even par, but the weekend belonged to Silva Saarinen. Her upshot on 16, the longest hole on the course, that would become a birdie. And this great putt on 17, her 4th birdie of the day. She's 7 down on the tournament, winning by 6. Silva Saarinen, your 2023 Krokhol Open FPO champion. And MPO action at the Krokhol Open is underway on the Disc Golf Network right now. Final card getting ready to make the turn. Bradley Williams and Paul Macbeth have swapped positions multiple times already through the course of this front nine in this final round. Again, they are on the lead card, and that coverage live on the Disc Golf Network right now. Upcoming events from the European Tour include events throughout the month of July and into August. Lots of opportunities to see some of the world's best that you may not be as familiar with. It's great golf on great golf courses there on the European Tour. Grant Zellner and Brian Earhart back with you, and back to talking about the Des Moines Challenge, where Stacy Ronsley absolutely went off this morning. Plus, Stacy gets a little bit of a longer break before starting her final round. We see her scorecard here, Brian. Aside from that blemish at the last, Stacy Ronsley really showing up this morning.
Stacy's a solid player. I mean, she's an ex-Ultimate player. She has the forehand. She has the backhand. She has power. She has the ability to throw hard with overstable plastic if she needs to. And she can beat the winds out here today. And I think that's why she finished off strong, obviously minus the blemish on 18. But this is a big lead card experience for her right now. She's playing with some of the best in the world. She's still somewhat newer to the Disc Golf Pro Tour. But I think at this point, this is the experience that she needs to kind of take her game and her confidence to the next level.
I want to talk Macy Valadiaz briefly with you, Brian, because I think she's done what she so often does. Quietly, if that's possible, playing her way onto the lead card and then staying there in contention. It's amazing how little sometimes we talk about Macy Valadiaz when she is right there in the hunt so many times. What is it about Macy's game that's working this week?
She's got both sides. She's got stable backhand, stable forehand. She can play the touch game if she needs to. And her putting, you know, while it's streaky, if it's on, it's really on. And she's solid from circle too. She's got a great step putt as well. I just think overall her skill set takes her far in this game and in this division. But it's just the consistency and making sure that she can execute the birdies time and time again that's going to bring her up to the top. So, yeah, I mean, I wasn't surprised to see her shoot the way she did today, but we'll see what she does this afternoon. She could light up the course.
One more break and we'll be back to set things up as featured cards go off here for the final round at the Des Moines Challenge.
It's always so exciting when we get new plastics of the Passion, but I always end up falling back on the stock ones. And I like to say its closest counterpart is the Buzz. I think my absolute favorite way to throw it is dead straight and just watch the beauty of a straight flight. They've become a staple in the Discraft lineup and also in people's bags, and to know that people everywhere are enjoying the Passion as much as I am. That's just really exciting for me.
Join the Paul Macbeth Foundation's Builders Club to help bring sustainable disc golf experiences to people and communities around the world. For a small monthly donation, you can help us make a real impact. Your donation will go directly to making a difference. By becoming a monthly subscriber, you'll also receive exclusive updates on our work, special offers, and discounts. So join us today and make a difference with the Paul Macbeth Foundation. Together we can make a big impact, one small donation at a time.
Final round featured card coverage in a word: tasty. Madison Walker, Kat Murch, Jennifer Allen, and Paige Pierce on the chase card, following up Macy Valadiaz, Stacy Ronsley, Missy Gannon, and Kristin Tattar. Thanks for watching. For Brian Earhart, I'm Grant Zellner. See you after the round.